All right, as we're looking around here, just for those of you who may be tuning in at home, and we're moving the camera around quite a bit, and occasionally I'll stop talking, we're getting some more information coming in from the desk and requesting different shots that we're taking, so that while we're here in Midway's airspace, and a big thank you to Midway Tower, that we're actually able to get the shots to tell the story. So that being the case, you're watching the most live of live TV. That's as we're streaming with our signal here live from the helicopter. This is unedited. This is straight to you. And what we're looking at here, for those of you who may just be joining us, is the perimeter road around the northwest corner of Midway Airport. Around 4:45 this afternoon, we had an individual identified only as a 33-year-old man who got inside the perimeter fence. Oh. Alrighty. Coming back again on the live stream here. We've started and stopped a couple of times here because we're listening to Midway Tower. What you're looking at here, if you're just joining us, is security, the airfield detachment from the City of Chicago Police Department, also the Chicago Department of Aviation. They're on the perimeter road along Central Avenue, a little bit south of 55th. It was close to this area where these cars are gathered that an individual only described as a 33-year-old male jumped the fence earlier today about 4:45, got onto the tarmac here at Midway, encountered a small private jet, and actually tried to stop that jet and get aboard. So that being the case, of course, the airfield security was notified. They responded in immediately. They apprehended that individual, and he was taken to McNeil Hospital for evaluation. Of course, there might be a mental component to that, but at least right now, according to the Chicago Police Department, in a press release got a little while ago, that individual appears to have been intoxicated somehow, under the influence of something. So that individual has been removed, and now what security has been doing since that incident happened is making sure that nothing else was taken in there, nothing was left behind, and no other individuals were in there. So they needed to go ahead and search here, make sure that everything is clean, that there's no residual individuals who may be running around in here. If one got in, who knows? Another individual could have gotten in as well, but that is not the case. It was an isolated incident, one person who is at McNeil Hospital, and that individual is off the airfield and being evaluated this hour. So a small business jet apparently was contacted by that individual. He was not injured. Nobody aboard the aircraft was injured. Airport operations was not impacted whatsoever, and that individual was removed from the airfield here. So I guess the overriding question is how that individual managed to scale a very large fence and get inside airfield security. So those questions will be answered and any problems addressed. So things are starting to wrap up here. We have officers that are close. This is now a picture of 55th Street on the north side of Midway Airport. This is a little bit east of Central, so we're still on the northwest corner here. And this apparently is a little bit closer now to where that individual violated the fence. So whether he snuck in when a gate was operating, or managed to climb over the fence somehow, or get in there, it is unknown at this hour. So we're still waiting on information there to be made available to us by the City Department of Aviation and also the Chicago Police Department. Police officers are still on the scene along the perimeter road, and of course they are going to thoroughly examine the area to make sure that there was nothing nefarious going on here outside just an individual who was under the influence getting inside the field. Just making sure that this is not part of any greater operation here. There was just one person operating on their own as an individual. And so that's why we still have security, Chicago Police Department, that is specifically assigned to Midway Airport. Same thing over at O'Hare. They have police officers that are specifically assigned the aviation detail. Take a look with the camera here. This is the signature flight support ramp on the west side of the field. Just looking around to make sure there's nothing else going on here. Our camera operator, Derek Peters, looking around the perimeter road. That's Central. And I'm coming off of Central on the 63rd. It just went past the Air Guard, the Air Guard hangar. Just looking around with the camera. So if you see camera movements, or maybe we're pushing into a particular area, you got to remember we're about 1,000 feet above ground level and about a half mile to a mile away from the airfield. So this is how we look around. Where other folks might be using binoculars, we use the high-powered camera that we use to bring you the news in order to go in tight on things and examine what might be down there. So yes, we need the telephoto in order to take a look and make sure that there's not an aspect of this story that we are missing. So we're surveying right now the edge, and we just came off of 63rd onto Cicero. There's your main terminals there. All the Southwest jets that are at the jetways. Now we're back down to 55th, which is at the bottom of your screen. And apparently off of 55th near Central is the epicenter of today's activity. So employee parking area there. Just looking to make sure, because we got some Chicago squads down there as well. Looking to make sure that we get all the images while we are allowed to be in the airspace and this close to the airfield in order to tell the story later on today. For those of you who may be coming to us, joining us just now on the live stream, I'm Chris Habermill in Chopper 2. Thank you very much for choosing CBS 2 News for your news source. We're looking at a developing story which happened about 4:45 this afternoon. This is Midway Airport on the city's southwest side. We had a 33-year-old individual, a man, who somehow got inside the perimeter fence and tried to, as the police put it, stop a small private jet. Even at one point trying to get aboard that jet, presumably by banging on the aircraft or trying to contact the fuselage somehow to get to the door to get on. So reason for that, unknown at this hour, although that individual was very quickly apprehended and was taken apparently by ambulance to McNeil Hospital for a mental evaluation. At this time, the preliminary indication is that individual was under the influence of something. Don't know if they were inebriated or something else was at work there, but the end product is the same. That person is in custody in the hospital, being evaluated. They've been removed from the airfield. Airfield operations were not affected except in getting over to the perimeter road there. The aircraft movement area on the ramp may have been stymied for just a little while as police moved in to get that individual out of here. But as far as regularly scheduled jetliner service, there was nothing, no impacts to jetliner scheduled jet service into or out of Midway Airport. We're getting some of the police officers that have responded out here. They're coming back out off of the actual movement area of the airfield, and they're getting back. They're going to rendezvous in the parking lot, I believe, down there. Comparing notes, trying to figure out how that individual did, in fact, get beyond a very high and normally quite secure perimeter fence. Did he sneak in when a gate was operating? Climb the actual fence? Or is there a defect in the fence that allowed that individual to get through? Those questions all being asked and answered at this hour, but apparently that individual got over or through the fence somehow and was able to get toward an aircraft that was out there. See a little bit of our skid right there. That's because we're facing a little bit into the wind, making a little clearing turn. Our pilot Roger Powell this afternoon, per instructions by Midway Tower, looking for other air traffic. So what's the best way to look for air traffic? Turn your aircraft around. Take a look there. So Well, folks, looks like we're going to be departing Midway Field here. So for those of you who tuned in, thank you very much. And I'm Chris Habermill, CBS 2 News. Have a pleasant and safe afternoon.
Year-old Ermilo Beltran 3 times in this alley. The father reporting to work around 10 Sunday nights at Happy Camper Restaurant, only a short walk from Wrigley Field. Family says police told them it was a possible robbery, the shooter taking Beltran's wallet, leaving his phone.
He was working to put his little girls into a better life.
Sam Sanchez owns Moe's Cantina near Beltran's workplace.
If you work late night, I mean, you're always worried about how you're going to go home.
This meeting today was about how they operate. How do they have security?
The meeting today with 19th District Police and Wrigley area business owners has been scheduled for weeks, now taking on more importance. The Lakeview East Chamber of Commerce says the neighborhood is safe but could use improvements.
And